Hey, what up you beauties? It's time for story time. If you checked out the thumbnail, if you read the title, you know I had brain surgery. We're gonna start from square one. I'm gonna go through how it happened. I'm gonna go through the surgery a little bit. I'll show you the outcome and we'll go over a couple of highlights. If you want the full story of this month and a half of my life, quite honestly, it's gonna be broken up into a few videos. The next one I drop will be as far as rehabilitation. And let's just say there'll be a third one, which is going to be a focus of funny times. Anyways, let's get right to it, guys. So effectively how it happened, or how I ended up at the hospital, was due to a mass amount of headaches and migraines, which I know can be common among people in general. However, for myself, to be quite honest with you, migraines, headaches, not really a thing for me. They were when I was a kid. I haven't had them for years. So I got a headache on December 18th. And you know what? I was like, whoa. What the heck's going on here? So I slept it off, thought I'd be done with it, thought it'd be over. Not so much. I got them 6 days in a row. And I ended up with a migraine one day, to the point where I ended up crying that it hurt so much, to the point where I ended up throwing up due to it as well, which was unreal. I was nowhere near ready for that. But on we go. The next day, I woke up with a headache again. And basically what was determined by my mom as well as my uncle is that we need to go to the hospital. We need to get you checked out, make sure nothing crazy is going on. Maybe you just have a bunch of headaches. It is what it is. But anyways, we go to the hospital. We get checked out at one a little bit, and then we get transferred over to another one which specializes in brain surgery. At least that's what I believe. So what goes down is I get 3 scans. I got a CT scan, an MRI scan, and another scan, which I always forget the name to, but effectively what they do is they put a fluid in your vascular system so it helps illuminate your active blood areas. At least that's my understanding. And if somewhere's not active, it comes up as a dark spot. Correct me if I'm wrong down below, I'm sorry, but that's what I understood. So I got those 3 scans, and then after a couple days, a gentleman comes into the room staying in the hospital and goes, "So you definitely need brain surgery. There's a dark spot, and that could be one of 2 things: a vascular malfunction or a tumor." And at that point, I was like a stunned bunny. I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know what it could do in terms of a whole family thing too. If it was a tumor, it's definitely something that would affect the rest of the family. At least that's my understanding. And if it's a vascular system that's defective, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a one-off thing. So it happened to me, but it's not like it's gonna happen to my mom or dad, or it's not gonna happen to my family in general, my little sister, my future family, who knows. So basically, I go a few days of kind of just rocking around, hanging out with friends. Thank you to all of you guys that came in. Guys, I had over 100 visits between people. I had probably 60 visitors, which was absolutely unreal. A lot of them are you guys, so thank you. You know I love you. Whether we're in a relationship or not, I love you guys. You have no idea, okay? So anyways, that was basically going up to surgery. And we got to surgery on January 2nd. So surgery day ended up being, believe it or not, pretty good. When I got there to go into surgery, they were like, "What do you listen to?" I was like, "Are you sure? Because you guys should probably enjoy what you're listening to. You're the ones that are working." We ended up listening to older school rock, which was phenomenal and something that they actually enjoyed, which I was like, whew, really happy about that. But in terms of surgery, they screwed in, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a jig, might be the wrong phrase. I had a screw right here, a screw up here somewhere, there was a scab. There was actually staples that ended up here. Boom, there they are. But what ended up happening during surgery is I was obviously put to sleep during the bulk of it, but they had woken me up to ensure that they're not touching the right part of, or sorry, the wrong part of my brain, I guess. So they would get me to count to 5, they'd get me to move my fingers, move my wrist around, and basically just talk. And make sure that my right hand, because it was the left side that was being worked on, was mobile and was still functional, which again makes total sense to me. So during surgery, the second time I woke up like a waterfall. And I had a lady sitting beside me, rubbing my forearm, being like, it's okay, and out like a light. And then I woke up again outside of surgery, and I realized then that I had 4 IVs. 4 of those things. So I was basically a potato for 2 days after surgery, to the point where I really couldn't move around because I had 2 of those things that would be like, walking around the halls with. Not so fun. And one of them was actually plugged in, so you kind of needed that one, I think. So anyways, after surgery and after having 2 of those IVs removed, I ended up getting the freedom to meander around. And in doing that, let's just say one night I ended up doing it just a little bit late. 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? So basically, I decided it's time to walk around, start exploring, seeing what's going on. So I'm walking around, and then a gentleman comes out and he goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, just exploring." And he goes, "You gotta get back in here." I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry." So we go back in. I forget what he said, but he said something that made me absolutely die with laughter. And let's just say, my laughing was basically like twisting, because I went like this, do 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 do, all the way down to the point where it basically looked like I was falling. So the result of having the cut come so deep, and sorry, here are the screws, here are the staples for that, comes right across, wraps right around, comes down. The results of that, especially being down here, was laughter, yawning, eating, brushing my teeth, all hurt because I couldn't open my jaw fully. Even talking at some points, because it depends on how much you have to actually move your mouth to say a word. So after that, he gets me back in, I go back to bed. Is what it is. Another funny one was if you've watched the mountain bike one, it's just more or less the exact same thing. But when you're in the hospital, they have stickers on you on your chest and elsewhere on your torso to ensure that your vitals are up to snuff. Let's just say mine were a little odd. My resting heart rate, the machine's set to 50 as a low. And let's just say while I was sleeping, it went off. So he set it to 40, which is exactly what they did in the mountain bike one. After setting it to 40, it goes off again. My resting heart rate when I was there was 38 beats per minute, which is basically like molasses. So that was that. But after a while, I thankfully got some information from a friend of mine that was able to explain what was what. And excuse me for a second, I'll bounce right back. Okay, so on to picture time now, guys. This picture here, the area that's circled in blue, is basically, it's trying to heal after bleeding. And then the area that's circled in green is quote-unquote normal tissue. But the arrows that are being pointed to particular areas are blood vessels that are, quite honestly, a little too big for their area. If we jump down to this picture, we're now looking at blood vessels as they are. So the blue ones are too big. The green ones are normal size. Kind of a big difference. I don't even know if you can see the difference because the ones that are circled in green are so itty bitty. You know what? Here you go. The quality's obviously down, but I've zoomed it all the way in so you can kind of see it a little bit better. It's a little dot by comparison to, well, quite honestly, something that's very easy to see. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You take care. If you're from Ottawa, I sure hope you like snow because it just keeps coming. I'll see you guys next week where, who knows what we'll do, because I'm only one away from 200. You guys take care. I'll see you later.